Hello, my name is Jesse, and today I'll be teaching you how to use the Ncpa Wizard. Ncpa is unique because it can be installed on many different servers, so you can install it on a Linux server, a Windows server. I've seen it installed on OpenBSD before, so Ncpa is very cross-platform compatible, hence the name, Nagios Cross Platform Agent. What's unique about it is that it exposes an API, and the API responds to queries in the same way regardless of the operating system underneath of the agent. So the API is consistent, which is why the same wizard can be used against multiple types of servers. So we'll go to Configuration Wizards, type in Ncpa into the search box. Here's the Ncpa Agent wizard, which we'll click on. We'll enter the IP address of my Windows machine with Ncpa installed on it. Port 5693 is the default port. I have not changed that. And we enter the token as well, which I have made welcome. Press Next. And this wizard actually attempts to contact the Ncpa interface, or the Ncpa API rather, and it automatically fills in some interesting information. So here under disk metrics, we can see the D and the C drives are both filled in automatically, detected drive C and D via the Ncpa API. It also detected some network interface information, so here are all of the available interfaces that I'm capable of monitoring. And it attempted to detect services as well, but in this case it did not. So here we can have a list of services that we can actually just choose from. It doesn't autofill the services, it does list them here though. So what I can, for instance, if I did want to monitor whether or not, let's just pick a random service here, VM USB ARB service, whether or not that is running for some reason, I can go ahead and select that and tick the radio button next to the service. You can also specify custom processes if you would like. So that's effectively how to configure this, some of these settings under the Ncpa wizard. You can also set an expected status of these services, whether you expect it to be running or stopped. So that's another interesting feature. We'll go ahead and press Next and press Finish just for the sake of time, which will generate a host, which would be my Windows device, and all of the associated services that we've defined. So let's click on my host. And we can see already that we're getting some results back. Memory usage, CPU usage. Here we have drive C usage and drive D usage. Some of these are previous checks that I have generated. Here's drive C and D usage via Ncpa. So let's just see how these results return. We'll force an immediate check. Nagios XI contacts the Ncpa API, and then the API returns critical, used percent was 92%. So I actually do have a 92% of my drive C being used, which caused a critical, which alerts me that I do need to free up some space on that drive. It's also worth noting that Ncpa does report performance data by default, so you do get handy-dandy charts over time. What's unique about Ncpa is it makes bandwidth monitoring very straightforward. So let's force an immediate check on our inbound bandwidth on local area connection. Just check on whether or not this is working, and we can see we've received 0 megabits per second. And let's check inbound bandwidth on the other local area connection. Submit that. And you can see 0 megabits a second again. But Ncpa has that unique advantage of detecting these interfaces and automatically being capable of monitoring the bandwidth and graphing that over time as well. Those charts will populate over time. So let's check the outbound bandwidth just for a couple of other examples before we take off here. And of course, it is worth noting that all of these checks will work on a Linux server or a BSD server or whatever Ncpa is capable of running on as well. As long as those the same API calls work, this will work just fine. Excellent. So we have inbound and outbound bandwidth. Let's check on the status of that one service that we set up. So we'll force that check. And I expect, yep, an OK service, VM USB service is running. So we got an OK status, and when that is stopped, we will get a critical. And let's check on the memory usage, just our very last check to be sure that everything works properly. And there you have it. Looks like the memory usage percent is 33%. That is how you go about running the Ncpa configuration wizard in Nagios XI.
If you have any questions about that process, please feel free to reach out to us at the support forum. We're always at support.nagios.com/forum. Otherwise, feel free to check out our related content at the YouTube channel. Thanks.